Hi kindergartners, it's me, Mrs. Perlin. I am back with another science lesson. So our last lesson, we talked about words that we can use to describe weather. So let's see if you can remember what they were. We talked about this one. That's what? Sunny. Can you show me your body movement for sunny? Sunny. And we talked about this one, which is rainy. So let's see your body movement for rainy. Rainy. And then we have this one, which today, I'm filling this on a Tuesday, or sorry, on a Monday. Boy, is it this outside. Windy. Let's see your windy. And then we have snowy. And we have this one, cloudy. So make those cloud marks. We went ahead and we read this book because right now as scientists, we're trying to figure out first, how do we describe weather? So we know we can use these words to describe weather, but there's another thing that we need to start talking about, and that is temperature. And scientists use temperature to tell us how hot or cold something is, right? They use temperature words to tell us that. And so we read this book, What is the Weather Like Today? But we stopped about halfway through, and we're going to read the rest of it today. So not only does this girl use types of weather, but she's also going to talk about temperature today. Okay? So it says, after breakfast, I am dressed and ready to go to school. But I have another question. Every day before I leave for school, I always ask, what is the temperature today? Days can be different temperatures. For example, the temperature can be cold, cool, warm, or hot. So we talked about hot and cold before we read the book, didn't we? But now we have that word cool and that word warm too to think about. I open the door and step out on the porch. Brr, I am glad I have my coat and hat. What is the temperature today? So remember, in the first part of the story, we use this word predict. Predict is when you make a prediction, right? When you take the knowledge that you already know, the things you already know, and you make a guess about what you think is going to happen. So I'm looking at her, she has a hat on and gloves on and her coat, and she's saying brr, so I'm thinking it must be pretty cold out. That's my prediction. Let's see if my prediction is correct. The temperature today is cold. Was my prediction correct? Sure was. The air feels like the inside of my refrigerator. On cold days, I like to puff out air and form little clouds with my breath. Today is a little warmer than before. I am going to leave my hat at home, but I still need to wear my coat. What is the temperature today? So we're going to predict, right? So what do you think the temperature is today? She said it's a little warmer than before. So before it was cold. I see she still has her coat on. So I know I don't wear my coat when it is cold, or sorry, when it is hot or warm. So I'm thinking that maybe now it's just cool. I'm thinking about those other words that she used, cool and warm. I'm going to predict that it is cool outside. Let's see. The temperature today is cool. On cool days, I like to run around on the playground to stay warm. If I stand still, I feel too cold. I need to ask my teacher to help me zip up my coat again. So my prediction was correct, wasn't it? It was cool outside. Let's look at the next page. I don't need a coat today. I am going to school wearing my favorite sweatshirt. What is the temperature today? So she's still wearing a sweatshirt. She doesn't have a coat on anymore. I'm thinking it's definitely not cold, but maybe it's still cool. Cool or warm. It's definitely not hot. If it were hot, I think she'd be wearing shorts and a t-shirt. So I'm thinking either warm or cool outside. The temperature today is warm. On warm days, I like to play in the shade of the big oak tree on our playground. We pretend that the branches are the roof of our tree. Today, I don't even need long sleeves. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt. I even put on my sandals. What is the temperature today? So I'm going to predict, right, knowing what I already know. When I wear shorts and a t-shirt, it is hot outside. So it must be hot here in the story. Are you thinking the same thing? Let's see. The temperature today is hot. On hot days, I like to lie around in the shade of the oak tree. I look at shadows and sunlight on the leaves above me. I was right. The weather where I live can be different on different days. The weather can be sunny, cloudy, windy, rainy, or snowy. Temperature is part of weather too. The temperature can be cold, cool, warm, or hot. I wonder what the weather will be like tomorrow. What is the weather like where you are today? What is the temperature where you are today? So now, thinking about how we describe weather, we have those words like snowy, windy, rainy, cloudy, sunny, but now we also have some words to describe the temperature, right? We have hot, warm, cool, and cold. Now the problem is, being a scientist, I don't know about you, but my husband, Mr. Perlin, will go outside and he'll say, wow, this is so great, it's so hot out here. And I'll go out there and I'll say, this is not hot to me, this is cold. He gets a lot hotter than I do. So there's a tool that scientists use. Do you know what scientists use to measure temperature? I'll give you a clue. We've been talking about it in Number Corner. What is the tool that we use? We use a thermometer. And I have our Number Corner chart over here, right? We've been talking about the different kinds of thermometers that there are in each calendar piece. There's digital thermometers and ones that have the red stuff that goes all the way up to whatever number it is outside. And so we're going to use a thermometer too, but our thermometer looks a little bit different. Our thermometer is going to look like this. And it has some numbers, because some thermometers have numbers going up the side. We're not going to worry about the numbers so much as we're going to worry about, or notice, I should say, the colors over here. So we have at the very bottom, which would be the coldest, it says very cold. And we have cold, cool, warm, hot, and very hot. And you can see right now in my office, which is where I am, the colors that are lit up are in the cool area, so it's cool in this room. See how that works? Okay, so we're gonna do a little experiment playing around with our thermometers to show how they work. This is attached to the Seesaw activity if you're watching this on Seesaw. And I also sent this home, so you could print this out and do this along with us. It's up to you, but we're gonna go to my kitchen now and we're gonna play around with thermometers a little bit. Here we go. I have my lovely scientist here with me today, and we're going to make some predictions about our water here. So we have 2 glasses of water. Caitlin, your glass of water has ice cubes in it, and Adam, yours doesn't. So first I want you to just use your hands, and I want you to feel the water. No, on the outside of the glass. Outside. Yeah. Okay, so now I want you to predict, do you think that the temperature of the water is going to be very hot?
Mine
hot, warm, cool,
is
cold,
very,
cold.
very cold right now because it had a lot more ice before this, so I think all of it had melted and now it's really cold.
So what's your prediction?
I think it's going to be trying to decide between cold and very cold.
So cold or very cold is your prediction. Adam, touch your glass and tell me what temperature are you predicting that it will be?
I think it's gonna be warm. It's warm, but when you kind of feel it, it gets kind of hot.
So
But
somewhere between
it's-
warm and hot?
yeah, like the number 27.
All right, well, let's go ahead. We're gonna. So here is Adam's thermometer. So you can see that the 36 and 34 are changed color. They're lit up a little bit. So we know this water is very hot. So on my paper, I recorded that that temperature is very hot for the cup with no ice in it. Now we're at Caitlin's cup, and you can see down here at the bottom, the number 16 is colorful, which means that this water is cold. So next to the cup with the ice cubes, I went ahead and I colored in cold to record what the temperature was, because scientists record their observations. So now that we have learned that not only, I have this little chart right here, says what we know about the weather. Now we know that there are types of weather like sunny, cloudy, rainy, windy, and snowy. There's also temperatures that we can use to describe the weather, right? Such as very hot, hot, warm, cool, cold, and very cold. So we're going to adjust our key concept and idea right now about describing weather. It says weather can be sunny, cloudy, windy, rainy, snowy, and different temperatures when we're thinking about how to describe the weather. That word weather, that's so important, right? Weather is what is happening with the water, temperature, and wind. We're going to add that to our vocab words. So what I would love for you to do, either today or this weekend, sometime before next week, and again, this is going out to all the kindergarten classes, so if you're on Seesaw, you can look for the activities below. Otherwise, your teacher may mail them to you, or you could just write it on a plain piece of paper. You don't have to have these papers. I would love for you to go outside sometime and to investigate the weather, to observe. Remember, to observe means to use your hearing, your sight, your smell, your taste, your touch, and to investigate and think about, describe, using those senses, something. So I want you to describe the weather. And so this has specific directions, but I want you to think about the type of weather it is and the temperature that it is, and write that down. And then we're going to talk about this next week for our next lesson. I do have a school, actually 2 schools, that have a problem that they need your help with. So I will tell you all about that problem next week, and I look forward to you being weather scientists and helping to solve the problem. Have a great weekend.